The means of faith, so to say, for the modern evangelical missional enterprise, to use an analogy, because modern evangelical Baptistic churches or non-denominational churches don't really believe in the means of grace, must base their worship and understanding of grace through the means of experience. These evangelical circles' means of faith, so to say, must be based upon the conceptions of experience, i.e., like a past experience, such as, I have decided to follow Jesus, or perceived truths which used to come through the means of testimony. This is why believers' baptism is vital to the Baptist view. A believer's baptism is the personal testimony manifested, but it excludes or rather particularizes the faith for the individual. And that's the real problem when relating to the unity of the church and the dual purpose of sacraments. The purpose of sacraments, which is to bring unity to the church. Now, instead of testimony, means of grace has been offered through a different media as of late in modern mainstream big box church approach as of the last 30 years. That media is entertainment. A famous quote in response to this weak approach to worship could be applied here. Quote, "Ask not what the church can do for you, but what you can do for the kingdom." But emotional whims have become the means by which to interpret perceived truth, not reality. Ethics, therefore, by the logical next step, becomes situational. For example, I saw this in the shutting down of churches during COVID, and services were replaced with online gatherings, which is no church at all. Because to substitute this or to fold whenever the world would make war with the church is in disobedience to Hebrews 10:25. However well-intentioned the churches were who accepted the PPP loan, they failed miserably by becoming entangled in the culture in which they were meant to be distinct. The result, or the ramification of reality, by not speaking truth when truth was needed, we could say became judgment by madness. For example, exegeting Dr. Seuss's Grinch Who Stole Christmas and correlating the Grinch with King Herod in Matthew chapter 2. Or another example, quote, finding the gospel through the movie Die Hard, where the minister made a theatrical entrance, smoked and cursed on stage, and saying Bruce Willis reflects Jesus in the movie Die Hard in the first scene by descending into a dark world from an airplane and will ultimately rescue those in need from the hand of an evil menace, end quote. Or Ed Young entering on a stage in a roller coaster. God has judged these things as they were occurring. That itself is a mystery of his sovereignty and his sovereign will. We must realize that without a high view of sacraments, reality is not taken seriously because our perspective has become focused on the temporary from the locus of a stage, where experience becomes the means. Ethics, therefore, or to quote Schaeffer, summed up in a question, quote, how shall we then live, end quote, is a wheel reinvented every Sunday in these circles, in a sermon centered and based upon sola perspectiva, not sola scriptura.